Greetings, everyone. This is Maurizio, host of the Leaders What podcast. Today, I have another great guest for you guys. A man that I was connected to, one of my best friends here in Kuala Lumpur. I'm in Kuala Lumpur this week, back in Malaysia. My good friend, our good friend Maurizio, connected us. We've been chatting for, I would say, a few weeks now, 2-3 weeks, and then we finally met yesterday afternoon. We had coffee, and wow, what a story you have! What a story! So, just a little bit about him. Mr. Salim Satori, very successful and accomplished professional himself. He was a corporate trainer. He was training the trainers for 14 years at the highest level here in Kuala Lumpur. And then when COVID hit, that came to a halt, and that affected him morally, mentally, psychologically. He went into depression himself. One thing that women don't have much is a support group, because there's tons of support group for women, but us men, we don't have it because we're supposed to be the rock. We're not supposed to have feelings, or God forbid, become vulnerable and cry. But hey, at the end of the day, we're human beings. We have a heart. And he overcame his own depression. He had no choice, for himself, for his family. And he bounced back, and now is inspiring other men around him, is so much that he wrote a book on beating depression. And we're going to talk about the book later on this show. And also, he's been very successful and well received by not only locally, but also at more generally speaking, because he's been on a tour of radio shows, TV stations, even speaking at events, at conferences, and even the Malaysian health authorities have appointed him as a depression expert. This is something that is big time in need, especially for men. And he saw the void in the market. He had to overcome for himself that pain point, and now he's inspiring and empowering other men to do so. So I'm very happy and proud to have him on the show today. This will be episode 299. So 300 is around the corner, just one more and 300. And yeah, I'm very happy. So Salim, brother, welcome to the show.
Thank you very much, Lorenzo. Thank you. I was communicating with you via the phone when you were in Vietnam, Da Nang. And of course, it was a very kind of Mr. Maurizio Mauri to introduce me. He's a gentleman, friend of mine, who is based in Vietnam. You're coming back to Malaysia soon. So here we are. You have said it very, very well. And congratulations going for your 299 episode. That is not an easy feat. That's really a remarkable feat. Very consistent. You walk the talk. You are a person who delivers, and you know what you're doing. You're very focused. You're very determined, and definitely, I hope soon you will have 4-digit episode soon. It will be 999 someday. It's gonna be soon. So thank you very much. You have summarized about my story in a very clear way, in a very rightful way. Thank you very much, Lorenzo. Pleasure is all mine. Grazie.
Very welcome. Pleasure's all mine, and it's my honor to. That's what I do. I love showcasing good people with beautiful hearts and powerful messages to win, to spread the message of hope, of inspiration, and empowering others, so we can all collectively make the world a better place, one person at a time. So, anyways, it's gonna be a good one. I'm happy. But first and foremost, tell us, how are you today?
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I have something to live for, which is my story, my book. And as I know that depression today, especially among men, is very serious. Now we also have teenagers are getting depressed. Young adults. So I think it has reached a stage where it is very hard to see, because it is not like any other. If a virus, we know, but it is a suffering, inner suffering, just like cancer. You can't see it. So it is seriously, depression today, based on my research, is a pandemic. The only thing we don't see, but we can see the side effects, which are very, very bad. So I'm feeling good. I'm feeling excited. So this is my mission, to really create awareness and destigmatize depression, especially in Asia, because
Yes.
I think Asia is a powder keg. So I want to start here in Asia. Definitely.
Beautiful. Beautiful. We're gonna dive into all of that in a moment. Awesome. So for people who don't know you, tell us. We're gonna talk about your book, your business, your impact later on. But at first and foremost, tell us, for people who don't know you, who's Salim as a person, as a human being, as a man? Who's Salim?
Okay.
Don't talk
That's,
about the book or your impact. We're gonna talk about that later. But as a man, as a human being, as a husband, all of that, who's Salim?
all right. When a wise man knows what to say, Lorenzo knows what to say and how to ask the right question. Okay, I'm Salim Satori, and I'm 52 years old. Yeah, and as a Malaysian, I used to work in a corporate world. Then I left the corporate world, started venturing into corporate training because I love to educate people. I love to share knowledge. So when I was working in the corporate world those days, I used to train my managers, my operations people myself. I don't push them to HR because usually HR is quite busy. So it is important is that I took the initiative to train and develop my people. And as a person, I'm a voracious reader. I read a lot of books broadly from many topics: psychology, genetic, cosmos, astronomy, religion, political science, many topics. Because as a trainer, as a teacher, I need to know what's happening. I must have political literacy. I must know what's happening outside because we are interconnected. And yeah, I've been doing training for 14 years. I love training. I have a daughter who is 9 years old. I have a very helpful wife, especially she started her baking business during the COVID-19, So, yes, as a person, I love bird watching. I love bird watching. I spend a lot of time in nature alone, many times alone. I do a lot of walking in nature. I'm a deep thinker. I consider myself a philosopher because I'm always looking what we can do for mankind. So, a self-proclaimed philosopher. I read a lot of philosophical books. So, as a person, I do love sports. I love good coffee, good tea, and good friendship. And my aim today is, at the end of the day, how can I help a fellow human being? And my story is that to understand what is suffering and how we can help people reduce or eliminate their suffering. So that's me in a nutshell.
Beautiful. Thank you. We'll dive deep into that. Thank you. Awesome. Beautiful. Now, to start, first of all, I'd like to ask you a series of rapid fire questions. Ready?
Ready? Yes.
Rapid fire, okay? So short
Yeah.
answers. First of all, what makes you happy as a person?
Wow, with my family, definitely family and a good cup of coffee.
Yes.
With family, good cup of coffee and good friends. Yeah.
What makes you smile?
That I'm alive.
Oh, I love that. Absolutely. Absolutely. You know, they say every day you wake up is a present
True.
because every moment is a present, is a gift, you know?
Present. Yes, present now. Correct. Gift.
It's a gift.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Now, what makes you come alive? What sets your heart on fire? What makes your soul sing?
Most important thing is that I myself, I'm a human being. As a human being, me myself, I'm alive. I'm just life. Life. So when I wake up in the morning, I just see how can I contribute to others. How can I, make life better for others through science, through evidence, through results. So that's my aim. If to make someone happy, to help other people alleviate their problems and their suffering. That's my aim. That's the only thing drives me in the morning to wake up and say, this is another day. How can I contribute? Yeah.
So this morning when you woke up, when you ask yourself, how can you contribute? What was your answer?
I woke up in the morning around 5:30 a.m. as usual. So I made my cup of tea and I fed my two Syrian hamsters who are now having deep sleep. Two Syrian hamsters. These guys, they
Wow.
sleep 7 hours. You can leave the cage open and you can put a snake there. They wouldn't know. So I fed them around 5:30 and I say, hey, today is a big day because I'm going to be on Lorenzo's show. That's it. That was a big serotonin. That was my big morphine. That was a big shot in the arm. That's it. As I want to be Lorenzo's show. So I'm not an IT savvy guy. Yeah, but my wife is there to help me. Yeah, but I say today, Lorenzo's show, and he said, Salim, tomorrow make time, be there, and I say yes, Lorenzo, and finally we did. I was supposed to do from Vietnam. It was when you were in Vietnam, but today exciting day that I can be one of your 299 episode. And I'm very, very humble. Thank you so much, Lorenzo. You are a big man. You are a big, big man in your way. And you have invited me for this show. Thank you so much, Lorenzo. So today, definitely to be able to talk on your show, it's a big bomb for me. It's a big bomb. Yeah.
Pleasure all mine, my friend. Pleasure all mine. Thank you. Now, on the other side of the spectrum, what makes you sad and angry?
Wow. What makes me sad is this, because I don't want to talk about my book, right? Because you get okay. What made me sad is that when the people hurt each other, and people are not concerned about other people's suffering. People are not even showing sympathy or empathy. There's a lot of lack of a lot of indifference around. We can see here in Malaysia and around the world. So that really saddened me. And when another thing is that when I talk to people, I talk about suffering. I think people are not interested to delve further because they think that suffering is only for a certain group of people, and we are not going to suffer. We are going to suffer because suffering and the good times and the bad times, they are parallel. They go together. Just life and death are the same coin. So I think that really saddened me, because I think we really need to know the nature of life. And reading philosophy clearly shows that suffering is real. So I really don't like people who are apathetic to many things that's happening around them. We can change things if we know we take care of the people around us. Definitely we can change the world if we each individual can do that. So that really makes me sad. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you. Now, what scares you?
Nothing.
Wow.
I nothing scares me, because you see, I came back from death. In the clinically I was depressed for 2 years, and if any other man, I tell you, many will just have committed. I came back from death, and nothing scares me. I accept life it is. Amor fati. I accept life. I enjoy every moment. I try to. I spend time. I want to be with people like yesterday, and listening to you, listening to your story, telling you, asking you so much about Denang. So that's really, really interested. So I just hope that I can give back to my family, who have lost me for 4 years. 4 years I lost myself to depression. So I just want to come back. But that Salim is gone. There's a new Salim. But again, nothing scares me now. I even have a pet scorpion at home. His name Carlos. I have a pet scorpion at home. I keep it in a container, a small 7-inch scorpion as a pet. His name is Carlos. So
Carlos.
nothing scares me. No, Carlos. I'm not saying as a cocky. I'm not saying as a cocky person, Lorenzo, but just saying that the greatest suffering one can go through is depression.
Oh, yes.
So yeah. So I've been there, and I think nothing scares me. I think I just take life it is. Yeah.
That's a beautiful place to be when nothing scares you. Once you've been through so much crap that nothing scares you, that makes you invincible almost, in a sense, because if you've overcome that, then bring it on. I'm able to face anything.
Yeah.
I can relate with that. Yes. Thank you for sharing. We're going to talk about it in a moment. Now, what would you say is your number one personal superpower?
My personal superpower, because you see, no matter how hard I've been rejected, hit, somehow I never went into any addiction, like, I feel like addiction with whether drugs or alcohol, all that. No matter how I just bite the bullet, and somehow I always rise back. Why I rise? How I can do that? I do not know. It's most probably it's my will to survive as a human being, and understanding philosophy. Life is earnest, life is hard, life is short, nasty, and brutish. Hemingway said that. So that's that really is the thing that keeps me going, the will to live. As long as I can live, no matter how hard it is. Sometimes days are very dark and dreary, very dark. But at the end of the day, I said, I'll find a way. I try to find a silver lining in every dark day. Maybe in a simple thing, a cup of coffee, a cup of tea, not big things, just a simple coffee, a good movie, documentary. So somehow I get my moods back. We have ups and downs. That's normal. We have mood swing. That's just normal. Nobody can be positive 24/7.
Mm.
So that's how a will to survive. That's Lorenzo. That's if I can sum it up on this.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you. Love that.
Gracias.
Now,
Thank you, Lord.
you're welcome. Now let's move forward. You like traveling, right?
Oh yes, yes. Yeah, but it's been stopped due to the COVID. Yeah,
We
true.
can. I'm gonna take you now down a different type of traveling, down memory line. Go back to when you were growing up as a young boy. When we're kids, people around us, family, relatives,
Yeah,
first teachers always ask us, "Hey, Salim, what do you want to become when you grow up?" What was your answer
yeah.
to that as a young boy?
When I was a young boy, I always wanted to be a lawyer.
Oh,
There's a joke about lawyers. 4 out of 5 doctors agree that 4 out of 5 lawyers need a good beating. That's a joke. But yeah, I always wanted to be a lawyer. I think because that time in the 80s, that was the wow. If you're a lawyer, you're a law student, you are somebody. Yeah, but it didn't materialize. Yeah, I went into the business world. So from there, yeah. So, but always wanted to be a lawyer, not because to about money. It's about to help others, help others to help people. Innocent until proven guilty. That's the aim, lah. Because as a kid, I look at law in a very very positive way. Yeah. So that was my goal. Yeah, that was my ambition.
did you have someone that inspired you in the family that was a lawyer, or just because you find it cool?
That was neighborhood, relatives, and mom and pop those days. You either three things you have to be: lawyer, accountant, or doctor. Lawyer, accountant, doctor. So that was the only mantra they have those days. Nothing else. Yeah.
I almost became a lawyer myself too, and then I was about to apply to law school, and then a book changed my life. I went
Wow.
into
Wow.
business, going to law school at the dismay of my parents were completely horrified. They imagined me being a successful lawyer, but I said no, that's not for me. I prefer freedom over being a lawyer. So and
Yeah.
and it's been a fun ride. So, anyways, yeah. Now let's stay to when you were a kid. So growing up, what was your relationship with school? Did you love school or did you hate school?
Actually, I hated school.
Why?
Oh, I remember my classmate Anthony Fu, his name Anthony. He had his hair looks like a porcupine. He looks like he's a big fan of Gene Simmons. Kiss. He would come and do the tongue, Gene Simmons kiss. So that guy was I lost touch with him. I don't know what happened to him. We hated school and we were always, called up during the assembly. We were caned in public, coming to school late, skipping classes, But I loved my English class. I loved my literature class. There are the two classes, and geography and history. That's why I'm a historian myself, self-proclaimed historian. I'm a history buff. So these are the teachers really. History somehow anything to do with history. I'm all ears. Geography, English, and of course arts class. But other than that, I really hated school. I don't know why, but I hated. And I had a group of friends who were in the same league.
You can, if you remember the full name of your friend, you can track him down. You can find him.
Yeah. Correct. Yeah, Anthony Fu.
You
Yes,
should reconnect with him. Really fun.
Sure. Yeah.
Awesome. Now, um, imagine we're in the same class, say around grade 10, grade 11. What type of student were you? Were you the shy one, the quiet one, the nerdy one, the life of the party, the superstar athlete? What type of student were you? What type of boy were you back then?
I was life of the party. I'm just a
Oh,
very very noisy in the class. First to answer question, first to participate, first to organize meetings, first to get together. So I was really a jovial person. Of course, I had a lot of nerds in my classroom. I had the noisy ones. I have the very rascally type of friends who were really into puncturing tires and making holes
Really?
in. But
Wow.
yes, we had a lot of things going on those days
You
because we
puncture
didn't have.
do you puncture any teachers' cars?
I did, but I think Anthony Fu did. So,
Course, it
so
wasn't you. It wasn't you. Of course, it wasn't you. You know.
how we became friends because he was a nice chap because he at those days he used to do extortion with me. He said, "Can you give me 50 cents? I want to buy lunch." So that day, when he really was doing some extortion, so only we had a big fight. Then after that, we became good friends. So yeah, Anthony Fu, he introduced me to Iron Maiden and Scorpions. Yeah, and Kiss.
So you were a rock guy.
Bands.
Oh wow. Amazing, amazing. So when you were in school, were you popular with the ladies?
Oh, I went to all male school. Yeah.
Ah,
All the way up to Form 5. Yes, all the way up to Form 5 is O levels. O levels. I was all the way in all male school during the 80s. Usually, most of the girls they will go to the convent school. In Malaysia, we have many convent school. It was created by the French nuns in Malaysia those days during the British rule. So they used to go to convent school. So I went to the normal all boys school. Yes.
so what
Yeah.
about when you went to university? Were you popular with the ladies?
Oh yeah, I went to Form 6. Yes. Yeah. I was
Right
very
for the
shy with
family,
the,
yeah.
yeah, I was very shy with the ladies, and somehow whatever I said, they already pissed them off. I don't know. So those days we don't have the art. You know what I call the bella figura. The Italians will say the bella
Bella
figura.
figura, sì, sì, sì.
Yeah. In Form 6, we had female classmates. Yeah, very, very professionals. Very hardworking girls in the classmates. Yeah, we're good friends with them. Yeah, very. And we were
Wow.
boys. Always naughty, cheeky, and everything.
Yeah.
So they were really having a good time with just listening to us how the teachers used to tell us to punish us for being very, very rascally, so to speak. Yeah, yeah.
Beautiful. What
Yeah.
was your very first job? And do you remember how much you got paid for the very first job that you did?
Those days, the first job, you believe or not, I worked in Kentucky Fried Chicken,
Oh, KFC, okay.
KFC in Malaysia, and before McDonald's. I think before McDonald's came to Malaysia. So it was my first job working for Kentucky Fried Chicken in Malaysia as his assistant manager. So I was given the opportunity to train in Kuala Lumpur and a fantastic training center, very regimented, very systematic. I want to thank KFC for my first couple of years. I worked for them as an assistant manager, all the way up to the first manager. So I learned a lot of discipline. And the salary was, you believe or not, the salary was, if I'm not mistaken, those days when I started, just 700 ringgit.
Per month?
7 per month.
Was
It
it
was in
part-time?
the
Was it part-time?
full time.
What?
Really? Yes, we started with 700. It was 1991. Yeah, because that was the only job, and restaurant managers, were not paid highly, but the system was there. They provide food and everything. 700, trust me. But that time we don't need car, we don't have phone, we don't have internet. We just use the bus services in Malaysia. Very cheap. Food was cheap. We
Pocket
don't need much.
money. Yeah,
Rental was cheap. Yeah. 700 those days. Now 700, you can't even get a room in Kuala Lumpur. You
yes,
can't even get a room.
I know,
Yeah.
I know. Wow. So, as a former KFC manager, do you get KFC for life for free?
I know. I had the dining facilities, and proud. I worked for them. I learned about system, about organization, quality control. They have stringent control, so
Yeah,
you can be safe. Any KFC or McDonald's, they are safe. They have good stringent system.
never system.
Fast food, junk
Mm,
food. Fast food is not junk food. It's just
absolutely.
good food made in fast way. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Now, let's move forward. From the time you left school to now, how would you describe your path? Would you say it was pretty much straightforward, smooth sailing once you're into one lane? It was It was set for life, or was it more like a turns and twists, like a roller coaster?
Oh yeah, I never had a very linear life. I was never a person who sit down and accept, because I don't like to do repetitive things, too repetitive. I've been always being an explorative person, because maybe from a young age I was reading a lot of books. Those days we don't have internet, so I have books at home that were very more books should be read by adult. I was reading as a teenager, books on political science, especially Middle Eastern history. So all that I was reading. So I'm always looking for something, always looking for something. So I was in the food industry, retail industry, but I also went into a training and consulting. So yeah, I never had a linear career path, but I had a lot of roller coaster rides, roller coaster. I spent more times in the valley than on the peak, and I don't regret it. It is in the valley that you learn more than in the peak. So I spent a lot of time in the valley of darkness, valley of destruction. But the worst valley that I've been through is the valley of depression, due to COVID-19 law. This is a tremendous, biggest bomb sledgehammer that I've experienced, and I again somehow I managed to write a book. And it was only my friend Gobinathan Manikam, I mentioned him in my book. He's the only friend who inspired me to tell my story after I took Prozac. So he was the only cheerleader as a friend who was there with me through my dark periods and until today. Yeah.
That's amazing. That's amazing. We're gonna talk about it in a moment. Talk us through your path. So you left school, you became a trainer. Tell us
Yeah.
your path, your career so far.
Okay. I was in the retail industry. I was in the restaurant industry. I built restaurants. After KFC, I moved to other chain of restaurant.
Yes.
I'm an expert building restaurant, fine dine restaurant, setting up the restaurant, training the staff, creating the menu, doing the costing and all that, project management, all that, launching, running, all that I've done. I was into that. Then also I went into retail, running what they call these convenience shops, as a manager. Not one, few of them, managing the P&L, profit and loss. So I understand what is business, why sometimes marketing, sales, and finance cannot get along. So I'm a management consultant and a corporate trainer first. I understand profit and loss very clearly. So, when I was working people, I love to train my staff. I never pass it them to the training department. That's where my love to teach and develop my people started. So, when I reached one stage, 14 years ago, 14 years ago, more than 14 years ago, I decided I went into corporate training. So I said, how? So I started first to train the people who have failed in school, they didn't do well in their O level. That was the lowest. Somebody gave me an opportunity, give them some basic skill about life. So that was the first type of people. Second was the SPM leavers, O level leavers. Then they were university graduate, then unemployed graduate. Then slowly I went into unemployed workers, then I went into corporate. It was a gradual way up. And it was not easy, Lorenzo. You know why? When you are a trainer starting, you meet any training provider and tell them, I want to do training for two in your company. They will say, who are you? Where is the proof? Who are you? Why should we take risk? Who are you? So many of them refused, but many gave me opportunity. Salim, okay, we give you airtime for 2 hours. Handle a module. Free. I did it for free. I did a lot of pro bono work. So I did 2 hours program. They liked me, and from there I built on that. It was not an easy thing, because trainer himself is a product.
Yeah.
It was psychology. To train people 9 to 5 is not easy, Lorenzo. So that's how I started. But I didn't stop there, Lorenzo. I read and read the topic. Read and read. I study professional speakers. So I study them and I develop my own style. To be able to go up and speak. I can go out and speak to any crowd with a short notice, impromptu. So I've done that, I've done that. So it was not an easy path, but I studied and I developed myself, and slowly I went into management training. So it was a long 14 years. It was not easy. And until today, I'm still learning. Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, you mentioned that you overcame quite a few challenges and all that. So one question I want to ask you is, there's a saying that says, change your story, change your life. And by story, I mean what we tell ourselves in our heads. So when you, Salim, you were going through some of your darkest times, how did you change your story internally to change your reality externally?
You want me to talk about the depression or before?
Up to you. Up to you.
Okay. Okay. My past struggle when I started training, when I went into training, it was not easy. Every day I was thinking, why should I go back to work? I didn't want, I was in the industry, but I don't want to work. I don't want to go back to be on a payroll. I want to be myself. I know I can be a trainer. So it was not easy. Many times when we were building business, there are many rejection. People don't want to even give me opportunity. They ask me, which company you have trained? I say, Lorenzo, it was not easy. They don't want to give us opportunity, but I was virtually begging people, give me opportunity, please. So it was many a times I said, I should give up, I should give up, but I kept going because I believed in myself. I know I have something to say. I've met many people who are very kind, give me opportunity. So I believe, I think very important, nobody can make you believe in yourself. Nobody. You have to believe in yourself. At the end of the day, what are your thoughts running day to day? We have so many negative thoughts more than positive thoughts. But sometimes in the darkest time, you really have to find that you must believe in yourself. This is where people quit. It's hard. And nothing came for me on a pedestal. Nothing came for me on a platter. Nothing. It was just sheer will to keep going, because I know there will be a breakthrough. So it is always focusing. I have motivational quotes you can see behind me. You know that at the back. Make it happen. If it's to be, it's always up to me. Think forward. So I have to, because when you're running your own business, Lorenzo, you don't have a manager to motivate you. Nobody gonna ask you, how are you doing? Are the birds singing? They don't ask, and nobody gonna motivate, pet you and say, hey, come pick up. You and I, we have dark days, we have to pick ourselves. So when I wake up in the morning, I see all these motivational messages, allows me to, internalize, that, hey, okay, keep going, keep trying, keep trying, keep trying. And that's how I started. That's how I was very successful in the training industry until this COVID-19 lockdown. That was another biggest hurdle in my life. I'm so glad I'm still alive. Yeah, that is really another.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thank you for sharing. Now let's dive deeper into depression. How did you get depressed, and first of all, what was it, a specific event, or was it something that was progressive over a few weeks, a few months, that you found yourself to be in a state of depression?
Very important question. I'm going to make it I'm going to simplify for you. See, today I'm an expert on depression because I lived it. I popped the pill and I know how it feels. Now, depression can happen many reasons: genetical, biological, could be psychological, could be loss, trauma, loss, especially financial. When you have a kid and a wife at home, my depression happens object loss. So during the lockdown, March 2020 in Malaysia, if I'm not mistaken, March 2018, so I thought the virus would be contained, but it mutated. I was still hopeful. Here comes the holy month of Ramadan, June, I think was June. Things didn't improve, because I do physical training, Lorenzo, vis-a-vis, meeting. All soft skill training were cut. They say we only focus on technical skills, coaching, leadership, presentation skill. How can you teach online? Very hard. Teamwork. How do you do team building online? Very, very hard. You need to see them. You must see. So it was virtually shelved. So I thought it would be okay. But COVID mutated in Malaysia, mutated and became so many Delta, Omicron. And by end of 2020, I was feeling dark and very dark feeling, hopeless, I feel, but I never felt this type before, because you see, one of the reasons also, I'm an outdoor guy, Lorenzo. I go out, I train, I work 9 to 5. I'm now cooped up at home. I don't know what to do. So it's still okay, but I thought things, but 2020, virtually the income was zero. It really hit me, was zero. So I thought 2031 things improve. Yes, I did manage to get some training programs, but sometimes because of one person gets a COVID-19, COVID-19 infection, the training is cancelled and shelved. So cancel all that. So in 2021, things got worse, but I was hopeful. But getting darker and darker. I have mood swings. I feel very, very worried. Then by middle of 2021, June, July, I used to wake up at 4 a.m., panic attack. Suddenly 4 a.m., without no reason, 4 a.m., panic attack. So I will pace in the house like a madman. So I don't know what's happening. Why you're waking up at 4 o'clock? 4 o'clock. I'm an early bird, but 4 a.m. Then it was worse. So I was exhausted. Then something was wrong. Something was wrong. Something was wrong. So it got worse. Then 3 months before I collapsed at home, which I've written in the book, I used to cry. I go to the shopping mall, I cry. I just sit and cry. I was just crying, crying, crying. I didn't know. That is a sign of clinical depression. You start to cry without any reason. Just cry, cry, cry. I have no appetite. I lost weight. I don't feel any pleasure in coffee. I look blank. I look things. I feel empty that I never, it's not sadness. It is not sadness. It's just, I lost all feelings about anything. Like I was lost 2 years, postpone, cancel, so much uncertainty. Like Anthony Robbins mentioned, uncertainty. So I collapsed at home. I told my wife, I said, at one time I was sitting on a chair, my body became so hard, so hard. I thought something was wrong. I told my wife I might get a heart attack. She took me to the clinic and the doctor asked what happened. I think I got a heart attack. The doctor, I was very lucky, the doctor, she said, you are having clinical depression. I said, why my body is hard? I thought depression is in the head. No, severe depression, it hits you on the body. I cried in front of the doctor, me and my wife, and the doctor said, all right. I told the doctor, please sedate me. The panic attack was so severe, I cannot stop. Nothing can stop. It was so severe. Doctor, please sedate me. Send me to the hospital. Straight jacket me, doctor. I don't know what to do.
Wow.
She said, don't worry. Trust me, it was no worry. Take Prozac. Immediately, she gave me Prozac, and I went to the next McDonald's. I had Prozac. I took the Prozac, no impact. Within 15, 16 days, within 15, 16 days, the panic attack reduced overwhelmingly. My cognition came back. I was able to sleep. I was able to relax. Then dawned upon me, I collapsed. Oh my God, the magic of science. I call up my only friend, Govinathan Manikam. He says, Salim, you better tell your story, scientific treatment. Prozac saved my life. The panic attack was so bad that the doctors asked me. She was so shocked that I was still alive. I had suicidal thoughts. I don't know.
Really?
Then I cried,
Wow.
and I had suicidal severe. So Prozac brought me back to be able to think rationally. Why depression is so dangerous, Lorenzo? Depressed people are irrational and also rational at the same time. They are so grounded, they will kill themselves. It's the truth. That's why they're so dangerous for them. That's why they need help. So with the Prozac, I decided to tell my story. I told Gobi, how can I write? What to write? Tell your story. I've
That's
written
it.
a lot of,
Take from
and
the
the
heart.
roti. That's how I started. Yes, that's how I started. Yeah,
Wow. So how was the talk us
it
through
was.
the path of getting out of that hole and getting out of that
Okay.
depression?
When I collapsed, and when I start to get better, I took out one scrapbook, one notebook, and I start writing what to write. So I start to take photos. In my book, there are also photos about me. This is the day I collapsed at home. There's a photo. It's a real book. There's a photo there. There's me collapsed at home. I took a photo. So I said, how can I write? So I created chapters, what to cover. So I approached Gobi and said, how to write? Tell your story. How do you feel day to day? That's why in a book, I don't just talk about Prozac. I talk about day-to-day descent into a hellhole day to day. As a man, how I felt. As a husband, how I felt. As a human being, how I felt. As a father, how I felt. So I went all the way into the hellhole. Once the Prozac helped me to think clearly, though 2022, the business didn't pick up. didn't pick up. I got something to do. And the best part, I couldn't even go off grid. I cannot leave my family. So I used my panic attack time in the morning, which now totally have been reduced. I do have panic attacks, but reduced. I start at 4:45 a.m. I open the laptop and start to write. Read the chapter from 70, just write. And I didn't tell my wife, I didn't tell my kid, only Gobi. I said, I just want to tell my story. Was my therapy, Lorenzo. Because if I've not written the book, my business will still not be, I just don't know what to do. Because the doctor cannot help me much. Because if I go and see the doctor, I'm depressed. He said, okay, what the reason? I can't put food on the table. Okay, that's not my problem, Salim. Here is the medication you take. What about my job? That's not my problem. So I weaned off Prozac within 6 months. I didn't continue. I'm okay. But that kept me going. And my wife's baking. She was doing baking. Kept me going day to day. Something to write, something. And it became vision. It slowly became clearer. It took me 1 year, 3 months to write. Become clearer what to write. I will talk about the economy. I talk about future. I talk about what can happen in the future. What happened? What can we do for the next pandemic? What are the industry we need to protect? What can we do? How about our children? So a lot of ideas came because I used to read so much to help other people. But now I make it inward, Lorenzo. I put it back inside. Boom, 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 boom. And I pour it inside for humanity. It kept me going. And Gobinathan Manikam, he told me, he will check on me, follow me up, Salim, keep going. At times, I do not know. I don't want to write. He said, keep going, Salim, keep going. Think for humanity. There were many times people told me, shouldn't write. People are going to label you. Being an Asian, you write like that, people are going to consider you another one flew over the cuckoo's nest. Jack Nicholson. Not that way. Not that way. Because thank God of the French and European philosophy I used to read. Bertrand Russell, Voltaire, also Immanuel Kant, Kierkegaard, what they call George Orwell. That really programmed me to say, I want to do it for humanity. And one of the reasons also, Robin Williams, also dedicated to Robin Williams, Anthony Bourdain, Naomi Judd, Van Gogh, Mozart, Chester Bennington. These are the people who fought depression and talk about it. Unfortunately, they took their life. That's my book. That's what I mean. That's why. And Gobi was there. It was no easy. Using my saving, using my EPF monies to print. And that's why when I met you yesterday, Lorenzo, you asked me how many books I printed. It was only about 250, if I'm not mistaken, 250, because supposed to print 1,000. I was very lucky to know my printer, DW Books, Shoban, who has so much empathy. He designed the book. And he said, never mind, Salim, you get the book out, So he understood. So I had a very good printer, Shoban. I want to introduce to you. Please. So that's how it worked. Yeah. He has heart, just like you. Has heart. So that was the story where being in the valley, and Gobi comes down and sits with me, and also I talk about friends, relatives, and people around me who just walked away. So it is it was a test. It was a test of life, showed me the reality of life. Yeah.
Wow, what a story. Wow. So why is depression so dangerous, especially for men?
Okay, based on my research, depression, they say women are more likely to commit suicide. Women are more likely, yes, females. Yeah.
Wow.
But men do commit suicide. Why depression is bad? Because women, they talk about it. Women usually they have depression postpartum. Brooke Shields wrote a book, Down Came the Rain. She had postpartum depression. Brooke Shields, the actress. Now, when you talk about depression, I don't want to be gender specific, but the problem of why depression is so dangerous, you cannot detect it because people assume depression is low mood, being sad. You know when you're sad. Say, example, I want a cup of tea. I didn't get a cup of tea. I got a coffee. I'm sad. I know. I wanted tea, but I got coffee. So, depression is different. You're having a low mood. 5 signs. There are 5 signs. One of the signs will be low mood more than 3 weeks. Low mood, that means anhedonia is a Greek word. Lost all pleasure in life. Combing your hair, brushing your teeth, drinking a cup of no pleasure. Even Mr. Bean cannot make you smile. You are totally out. You're totally out. Yes. You're totally feeling dark, lonely. You feel yourself isolated. That's why it's very dangerous. And some of the doctors, they do not know how to diagnose. They say, they say, oh, you're having panic attack. So they give you panic attack pills, anxiety attack pills. That's why dangerous. Depression, antidepressants are very cheap. It can really save your life. So doctors sometimes fail to detect, because in Asia especially, we just focus on the body. But the mind and the body, Lorenzo, you know, you're a wise man. The mind and the body is connected. So that's why it is very hard to detect, because once you fall into depression, there is mild depression, it's called dysthymia. Then you have MDD, major depression, that is melancholia. Abraham Lincoln was suffering from depression throughout his life. Abraham Lincoln, so did Winston Churchill. He called his depression the black dog over my head. So that's why it's very dangerous, because the depression, mild to severe in a moment. Why they commit suicide? Usually because there is a voice inside you. It's not demon. The voice is, I think it's very evolutionary. It's within you that's telling you, take a solution, run away from the pain. But the problem with that solution, it's a permanent solution to perhaps a temporary problem. What is the solution they're looking at? What is the solution? Commit suicide. One of the biggest side effects of depression, you commit suicide. What are the side effects of antidepressant? There's so much a stigma about antidepressant. Yes, antidepressants are not psychotropic drugs, are not psychedelic drugs. They are antidepressant. The side effect comes first. Whatever the side effect I had, nausea, feeling high, you don't know where you're sleeping, vomiting. That's normal. I had that for 15 days.
Wow.
But what was the impact? Saved my life. Calm down the panic attack. This panic attack, nothing can help. We are chemicals, serotonin, GABA, glutamate, oxytocin. This chemical, due to pressure, your chemical which is produced in the gut, affected your mental state. That's why we need synthetic help through antidepressant. Now, I'm not promoting Prozac. I'm not promoting antidepressant. But I'm saying antidepressant works for 70% of the people. Try 1 month. I beg anyone who's listening. Try 1 month antidepressant. We have nothing to lose. Try 1 month. But people give up, Lorenzo. People give up. They say, I don't want to go through. They stop. That's where the problem starts. You must follow the course. Antidepressant work. But there are some people for severe depression, treatment resistant depression. There are other treatment, ECT, electronic convulsive therapy, DBS, deep brain simulation. Also there. That's for very severe schizoaffective depression. There's also lithium pills. The treatment is fantastic. They're going very fast with treatment. So that's why I say try out antidepressant. Now, second thing, doctors make mistake. What? For clinical depressed people, you know what, Lorenzo? They do psychotherapy. For a clinical depressed person, you cannot do anything. Nothing goes inside, because psychotherapy helps bring panic attack, mild panic attack, worry, anxiety. Okay, you can still think, but I'm having a panic attack. You still can think. You can still have the cognition. Depressed people, the cognition is out, is underwater. You need to work on the brain first, fix the brain, then psychotherapy comes in, like yoga, talk therapy, CBT, DBT, whatever it is. So that's why it is very dangerous. Untreated depression, 15% will commit suicide out of 1,000, out of 3, out of 4 will commit suicide, because based on my research, it is a very dangerous thing. It's no joke. And people, I always tell people, Lorenzo, look at the word depression with respect, or don't use like that. Oh, I'm very depressed today because my coffee machine is not working. Wrong. I'm disappointed today because my coffee machine is not working. Depression, you do not know you're depressed. One student approached me, Salim, I was depressed. I said, hold on. How do you know you're depressed? I think I'm depressed. No, please. You cannot self-diagnose you're depressed. I'm a well-read person. It took me 2 years until I collapsed. I could have gone earlier. I collapsed. Then I realized I was clinically depressed. You cannot self-diagnose. You never know you're depressed. Only thing you're having low mood. That's why it's very hard to detect.
So what are the symptoms of depression? You said if it persists for over 3 weeks?
Yeah.
What else?
Okay. The symptoms are like that. It is object loss. Something happened. My case was object loss. Sigmund Freud said depression happened because something we lose. Say example, you lose a family member, you lose especially income, financial loss. It's an object loss. So the person tried to cope. COVID-19 lockdown was not any economic crisis. If economic crisis, I can, if one industry wiped out, I still go out and work. It was 2 years of uncertainty globally, and of course in Malaysia too. So he tried to cope. He cannot cope. So he freezes. He collapses. So that's where the signs will come in, mild signs like don't want to mix with people, feeling low, feeling sheer hopelessness. Because depression involves three things: negative self-view, negative worldview, negative future view. It is is a process. Negative self-view, negative worldview, negative future view. And the dangerous part, they have global thinking in depression. What is global thinking? It's nothing to do with marketing, Lorenzo. It is not being a thought leadership. It's global thinking. We are talking about this. Say example, someone dated a woman, and the lady dumped him, didn't like him, tell him bye-bye. He thinks all women are like that, or all men are like that. This is global thinking. This is dangerous. And the most dangerous part is the rumination. Rumination is your thinking deeper into the rabbit hole, darker. You think about negative self-view, negative worldview, negative future view. So you're going ruminating. You cannot stop ruminating. Antidepressant stops you from ruminating. The rumination will lead to suicide. Trust me, I was there. I did research on site. I was there. I live to tell the story. Yeah. That's how dangerous.
Yes. I remember you showed me a video yesterday of that man that jumped from the bridge. I still can't remove that from my mind, and it's so tragic, so painful. Like, only God knows what must have happened to push a man. He looked like young, healthy, and to push a man to end his life, and in such a tragic way. Wow. Yeah, I can see this being very. So it's one thing. It's great that you've been able to overcome that, your depression yourself. But then what was the spark for you to use this gift, this knowledge, this wisdom, and to go help and empower and inspire others?
I can say my spark was my only friend, Gobinathan Manikam. He's a lecturer in a local university in finance. He during my dark days, he used to meet me weekly, come meet me, listen to me, talk to me, say, Salim, I call him at 1 a.m. at night, to talk. Sometimes we need another man to talk. It's fact. Sometimes I just can't tell all the time everything to my wife because she's having a lot of pressure too. She was lost. So I tried. So with Gobi, I would cry. At time 1 o'clock. And do you believe, Lorenzo, he even sits with me and cries, We're still in a coffee shop. He cried, shed tears. Why people why people are so cool, so cruel and cold. So he was my spark. He said, you have to tell your story. And also because of my daughter too. My daughter cannot understand what happened to the father. He became a madman overnight. What happened? Now she knows. When she grows up, she reads my book also, My Father, when it's not his fault. Many men out there, this book represents for those who have killed themselves, those who are about to kill themselves, is a hope to get a step back from the ledge, man. Step back from the ledge. Third Eye Blind, there's a song. There's a song. Get back from that. My daughter and the people who committed suicide during the lockdown, and also the people who are planning. So, and also many people who are going to be depressed in the future. So this is a clarion call. I say, I want to do it. But first thing, because Gobi sparked me, and also my responsibility, also especially my daughters, to say, hey, your father fought the great battle of his life, and he want to write a story, and that's it. There's nothing to hide. I'm the most transparent. I don't lie. I'm the most transparent man in the world now today, Lorenzo, because I've written everything. You know me, everything. I didn't hide anything. So it's how that's me. You don't have to do reference check. This is me. I told because I want to be clear, honest, speak from the heart. I don't care. There's some people who are gonna say, label me, stigmatize me. I don't care because the world needs people like us. This is a path I'm gonna take. And so that's why I think, and today, you are inviting me. You don't have any taboo about it. You want to talk about it because you understand. So that is the spark. Gobinathan and also my daughter and my family, definitely my wife too. Also, that's the reason. Definitely, and for humanity.
Absolutely, no, definitely. That's a beautiful, powerful gift that you have, as I keep saying always, you know, we all go through our fair share of, you know, dark times, heartbreaks, challenges, even tragedy. And then sure, they hurt a lot when we go to them, and then those become our story. Then our story becomes our gift. Then our
Yeah,
gift becomes our duty and responsibility, because sure, we know that life is a school. We come here to overcome challenges, grow and learn and grow and become better ourselves. But that's only 5% of why we are here. From my
yeah,
understanding,
correct.
is the 95% is taking those lessons, those wisdoms, and those gifts and sharing them with others, so we can all uh, grow and become and benefit from. So you're doing this now. That's beautiful. You know, one thing I want to also comment on, as you said, at first you didn't want to share your story because you were afraid and worried that people might judge you, and that you're not an expert, you're not a psychologist, you're not a doctor, you don't have an audience. That's a very common cause that's holding people back from sharing their story. I see it all the time from my people I talk on the podcast, from my students, from my academy, from people on my books, all the time, is that they feel my story doesn't matter, my voice doesn't matter, I don't matter. And they couldn't be further from the truth, because they matter, their voice matters, your story matters. So when you went from being afraid, worried of sharing your story for fear of being, you know, judged or labeled, and now you're being widely accepted, was it easy for you when you started? So once you wrote the book, was it easy for you to get how challenging was it for you to get accepted, to get, because your message is powerful, your message is very
Yeah.
powerful, when you started reaching out to the new media
Yeah.
outlets, local newspapers, local radios, TVs, and all that? How was the reaction to your message, to your book, and to your gift initially?
I want to, my mother taught me this: tell the truth and shame the devil.
Wait, say that again.
Lorenzo, this
I'm gonna write this down. I'm gonna write this down. That's beautiful. Say it again.
tell the truth and shame the devil. Rest in
Wait.
peace, my mom. She's in heaven now. I'm sure she's drinking some good glass of wine. Tell the truth and shame the devil.
Ah,
She,
love that.
yeah, I got many. I got many. I'll forward you some quite naughty ones. I cannot do it online here. I
Oh,
got some good for
you
you. Yeah,
can. It's for
yeah,
adults, so it's
yeah.
okay.
So
Uh,
thank.
okay, beautiful. Yeah.
Your question is that how was the acceptance of the
How
people
was
around
the
me? Sorry.
reaction? How was the reaction of the media, of the authorities, to your message, to your gift, to your book?
Okay, this one you really have to listen. Believe me or not, I'm as a management consultant, I deal with people with scientific thinking, rationality, all that. You believe me or not, I got my book on the first week of January this year, first week of January 2022. Sorry, 2023 this week, early this year. All of my friends, the people I worked with, all of them today, they are no longer on my phone.
Wow.
Everyone knew. Everyone except Gobi Nathan. He was my friend from those days.
So
All
they all left.
all left. I even
Wow.
showed them the manuscript. They say, you know what, Salim, people not gonna employ you. Hey, come on, I'm not mad. Depressed people. Anthony Bourdain, Chester Bennington, they had depression, but look at that, what they've created. Anthony Bourdain wrote 5 books. Chester Bennington doing well in LinkedIn. They're all wonderful people. There's so much stigma. Then you know what I told them? Since you cannot accept me, then I think we have to move on.
Absolutely.
Because you see, leadership, you outgrow your friends and people around you through doing. You see, when you do something, leadership is what? When you take a leadership role, nobody going to give you a standing ovation because it's hard. It is tough. That's why leaders, there are less leaders, many managers. Managers decide what is the benefit for me. When you want to take a leadership role, like Mother Teresa, like Christopher Hitchens, whoever want to go for leadership role, people around you will run away. They will run away and say, hey, nobody going to, because it's a tough call. It's a tough call. They walked out. They said, you shouldn't do this. They gave me cold shoulders. I packed my bag. I said, never mind. Gobi and I knew I'm here to serve the general public, 7 billion people around the world. Today, Trust me, Senor Lorenzo, 100% new. Relatives, friends, so-called people, I've been friends for years. I
Wow.
realized the fake mask fell off, melted. Chernobyl, my friend,
My
Chernobyl.
God. Yeah,
Oh,
wow. That is
so I saw everything. The emperor was not wearing any clothes. I saw everything today. I say, I'm done. I got new people I meet every day, new people I want to live with. I want to be honest. I can be frank and I can be tell. They don't judge me. That's why all new. It was hard, but as you say,
of
we're going to
course.
take a leadership position. Sometimes we have to walk alone. It was tough, but I don't regret it because my aim is that for humanity. I know the side. I don't want you to get it. Anybody can get depression, sometimes biological, old age, many reasons you can fall into depression, Lorenzo. There are no vaccines. There are no vaccine. And research have done by certain sectors, they say every one person, at least once in their life, will go through one episode of severe depression. One episode. One episode or so is how hard. What about, for a long period? So that's my aim. This is my mission. And people want to walk away, as the Spanish will say, vamos, no problem.
Hasta la vista, baby. You know?
Yeah,
No,
that's
you're
that's
right.
how it is.
That is very sad, but and almost tragic,
Yeah,
especially people that you've known for a long time. But you
correct.
know what? When they will, I don't wish that to them, to anyone, but when they will go through, when they may go through depression, then they will come back to you. Or when they see
Yeah.
you on TV, when they see you on the newspaper, when they see you, people talk about, hey, I know this guy. I know this guy. He's my buddy. They're going to come back to you crawling. Just watch. It's a matter of time. Just
Yes,
watch.
yes, I will. True. And a little bit I want to add, Lorenzo. I all these TV, media channels, newspaper, I wrote to them. Immediately they pick up the phone. We want to see you when you hear your story. Because it's a
Absolutely.
real story. So why I worry? My aim is not to be a glamour guy. I'm not. I'm not a glamour guy. I'm just going up there to create awareness because my aim. I want to work with the Malaysian government on a policy level about depression. Someone who lived through it, lived there, and of course slowly globally. That's my aim to help the destigmatize in Malaysia on a policy level. That's my aim. It's not ambitious, but it is reachable because I
Beautiful.
have through the story. Yes.
It's
Yeah.
very laudable. It's beautiful. And you know what? As long as whenever you put your intentions to do good, to inspire, to uplift others, the universe will bring the right people, the right pieces, the right circumstances, the right conditions for you to make it happen. So you're on the right path. You're doing a favor
Thank
for
you, sir.
humanity. You're doing God's work. So you will succeed. You're successful. You're a success. You're an inspiration. And
Amen. Amen.
and
Amen.
and you will, the people that don't see it, it's okay. They're not on the same.
Amen.
They're not on that journey. It's not their fault. They're not being mean. It's just that they're not ready for it. But when they're
Yes,
ready,
you're right.
they will come. So keep
Yeah.
the door open for them. Don't hold,
Amen.
don't hold grudges, because again,
Yes, yes,
see
yeah.
people as a loving, caring, because then they're not trying to be mean. It's just they're not ready. And when they're ready, even you, for example, before you went to depression, when things were good, if someone had talked to you about depression, you would have said, nah, it's not for me. Stay away.
You're right. You're
Because
right.
you went through
Yeah.
it. Everything happens for a reason at the right time. So keep doing what you're doing. Keep shining your light. Keep blessing the world with all of your amazing magic, your wisdom and all that. The world needs people like you. First,
And
if your circle around you, then around your city, this beautiful city of Kuala Lumpur that we both call home,
yeah,
this wonderful country of
yeah.
Malaysia and the rest. So just keep doing what you're doing, and the right people
I,
will come. And if I can help you in any shape, way, or form, I would be absolutely honored to help you spread your message. So
I also want to take one. What you
sure.
say just now, fantastic. You to say, don't hold grudges, forgive them. But I like what you said.
Mhm.
They were not ready. They're not ready yet. They're not ready. I
And
like
also
that.
because when you hold grudges, the only person you're hurting is yourself.
Correct.
They don't
Yeah.
care. They don't care. It's you that's being stressed. It's you being, and also release them, not for
You
them,
know,
but for your own sanity, for your own peace of
correct.
mind.
Correct.
So
You're
you're
right.
right.
They're not ready yet. Yes, not ready. They will be ready, and definitely, once they're ready, I will definitely accept them. Yeah, they're
Welcome them
not
with
ready.
open
That's it. They won't.
arms, with loving open arms, because they were not ready.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, no, absolutely. You're and listen, you're an inspiration. So what's next for you? Are you planning to build this into a program, into a consulting? What's next? What's your next step?
Uh, my forte has been corporate training for 14 years. To doing corporate training, I give talks, and give talks is one, and do training in a corporate world. I want to revive it back, but in the same time also, I'm looking at how can I, uh, you know, you know, be, conduct certain program, develop programs on mental resilience, something like that. I'm looking into that. Like even I had a talk with you over our first online discussion Zoom via when you were in Vietnam to look at maybe a program like a retreat, something like that. I'm looking into that next year, where this is purely to talk about mental resilience, how to overcome. Because if you just put a title depression, people won't come because they have this negative view, especially Asian. Oh, depression! Oh my God, I don't want to go. I don't want to go. No, it's in a way that to talk about mental resilience, but inside we will discuss about if you don't have that, then it could also lead what could be a side effect, and also to teach them about the uncertainties and the vagaries of life. So that is a problem. It's still not ready yet, but it's in a process of refining and looking at it. So that, because I've been a trainer, I do programs, I do lesson plans, I've done conferences. So just starting my training at the same time, which had been my big rock. And of course, at the same time, I cannot go silent on this. Really need to build something out of it, because like you said, it's not about just selling books. It's just
No,
about
absolutely, yeah. So about helping and
yes,
changing life, transforming lives,
yes, yes,
yes.
yes, correct. Yeah.
Beautiful. So have you been able to help any other people so far?
Oh yeah. You see, talks in some seminars. There are people who came and approached me, and they were having depression. They had depression. Their family members are going through depression. They have, some of them, TRD, treatment resistant depression. So they come and approach me. They talk to me, and they buy my book, and they seek my advice. So I told them, though I'm not a psychologist and a psychiatrist, but I know my subject like nobody's business. I know about it because my book leads to science. So yes, I have made impact. Even at the small seminar like that, people come and approach me, talk to me. They want to know. They open up, because usually a person who has been depressed will never want to talk to someone who have never been depressed, because they always been misjudged. So that's why they open up. So I can see some signs. So I'm also looking at perhaps something like a conference, something like that, in the future. And
Speaking of that, I will connect you to a lady. She's Malaysian. I met her at a conference back in August. She's the host.
oh,
She hosts big conferences. I had her on my
oh,
podcast not long ago. I will connect you to her right after this call.
thank you so much. Thank you so
Very
much. Thank
welcome.
you so
Very
much.
welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Very welcome. Wow, amazing. Amazing. I love what you're doing. That's beautiful. Me and you, we can talk for hours and hours. I love your story. I love your passion. But let's wrap things up. And to finish,
Yeah.
I'd like to maybe we can do a part 2 in a few weeks to follow up.
Yes.
But then to finish off, I'd like to ask you a series of rapid fire questions on advices. Ready?
Ready. Ready.
All right. What's the best piece of advice you've received so far in your life?
Never give up.
Love that. What's the worst piece of advice you received so far?
Uh, what they call accept things the way they are.
Love that. Imagine that you were blessed with a time machine and you can go back in time and sit face to face with the 18-year-old Salim. What's the number one piece of advice you would give to him knowing all that you know now?
I will tell him, be prepared, be ready to become anti-fragile.
I love that.
Anti-fragile. Anti-fragile. Nicholas Nassim Taleb, he wrote a book, Anti-Fragile, is
Yes.
higher than resilience. So I want to teach him that be prepared. Life is not going to be a bed of roses, just like our teachers used to say, our parents used to say, as you grow older, you have degree and qualification. Life going to be so much uncertainty. Life itself, nothing to do with degree. Life can hit you like nobody's business. That first thing I will tell them. not only just for, I tell my young Salim, not only on paper, look at so many areas of life, cultivate relationship, talk to people, be humble, take risks, learn new things, and always read book and pick up philosophy. That's what I
Love
will
that.
tell my Salim. That's how I will tell. That's what I'm telling my daughter also. Yes.
Beautiful.
Yes.
Love
Woo,
that. Love
that's
that.
a good question, man. Woo.
Awesome. Awesome. Wow, that's beautiful. Beautiful. Now, I know you don't have your own podcast yet, but imagine you add your podcast today, and today you're interviewing the most special person in the world, which is yourself. So you're interviewing yourself. What's the first question that you want to ask yourself?
Oh my. How the hell you made it, man?
And what is your
How
answer?
the, yeah. Huh?
And what
What
is
the
your
hell
answer?
you made it so far alive?
And what is your answer?
I just answer only. I don't know. I just cannot answer. There's no straight answer to this enormous question. There's no straight answers to life. There's no one way. It could be many things in the subconscious, the will to survive, DNA, our evolutionary process, the books, so many conditioning in life. Somewhere around there, it becomes in the subconscious to will to survive. So there's no straight answer, but really, I really don't have a perfect answer for this. But yeah, it's amazing. It's amazing.
Love that. Love that. Love that. Now, the last question I ask all my guests, and that's my favorite question to ask, and that is, what is the smallest thing you've done? And by small, I don't mean something small. I mean the one thing you've done that has had the greatest, deepest, most profound, and impactful effect on both your life and your business. For example, for me, it's been starting my podcast. What about you, Salim?
I think smaller thing.
No. I don't mean something small. I mean the one thing. The one
Yeah.
thing that you did that completely changed your life and your everything for you.
I think the book, the Pain of Depression, and the book now have changed my life. Though I love training, I still need the training because that's my bread and butter.
Mhm.
But in the same time, I want my training and my book work together. But I want to be honest with you here that I will reach sooner or later inflection point where I'll make a decision. If my book goes very, very, I have engagement, I'll be able to, it will become, in a book, in a way, with this will be my championing about depression, destigmatizing depression. I might say bye-bye to training, but but not now. But because I still want to teach people, I still want to train people, and with my experience in depression, corporate world definitely will be able to relate to me, because in corporate world there's a lot of corporate hidden depression which nobody talks about. It toxic culture, toxic system, toxic procedure, toxic processes, bad attitude, hierarchical issue, politics, all that can lead to depression. So this is how I'm going to look into that. Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. If someone wants to connect with you, Salim, what's the best way to do so?
Oh, okay. I can be contacted. Yeah, I only have via TikTok. Yeah, I have a TikTok, and also Instagram. Instagram. Sorry, my wife just interjected. She's taking care of my Instagram. Instagram. Yes. Instagram.
What's your Instagram
Salim Satori.
and your TikTok?
Salim Satori also.
Okay, perfect. You can send me those links. I will post them in the show notes and share them after. Listen, Salim,
Right.
I salute you. You're a true leader with the art. I love your story, your message, your beautiful gift, the impact you're having. Keep shining your light, keep blessing the world with your presence, your impact, and everything you're doing. Stay safe. God bless you, my brother, and talk to you very
Thank
soon.
you.
Take care.
So God bless you. You inspired me today. Thank you so much. God bless
You're
you, Lorenzo.
welcome. Pleasure's all mine. Take care.
So
Bye-bye.
much.